How you doing?
Good.
Okay. I can stop filling in there. Nat's Nat Torkington. I'm not going to introduce him because everybody knows him. He told me that the talk was about government services of the future. I don't know whether I believe him or not. And he's also asked to borrow my jacket. So
I'll keep that in the wings for the
okay, I'll hand over to Nat.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you. So this is the long tail. Did they have long tails when you were young? No, you probably grew up with short tails or long heads or whatever it was, but whatever it was nowhere near as cool as the long tail. Oh, social networks have long tails, and man, have they got them in spades. I mean, I'm probably way out, you're probably way out here with no followers. I'm way up here with lots of them. You've probably got a Bebo page or something. My page has glitter. I'm awesome. Anyway, the point of this slide is to show that I know business and I know maths and I'm hipper than you are in ways that you senior citizen grey hairs just can't begin to fathom. So who here knows what a social brand mashwork is? Yeah, didn't think so. Right, that's why you asked me here today. It's this simple. It's a collaborative brand-building social mash-up space. I mean, it's so simple I wonder why nobody's thought of it before. It's just a website where ordinary people get to interact meaningfully with brands. This is why they're important. This is why they're important. It's still why they're important. Here we go. In a 2004 survey, they found that 18% of government IT projects succeeded. Right? Massive fail, epic fail, in fact. But there was something invented in 2004 that can change this, the social network. Social networks are like kryptonite for IT projects. Think about it. None of that 2004 study's failures were social networks. Yes, think about it. Right. So the world is changing. In 1996, we put things online. 2001, we tried to find them. And in 2006, we took pictures of our cats, we sent them to our friends, and we bragged about the things that we found online. It's the future, baby. Why aren't you here? So by now, you're probably slavering to learn more. Let's dig into a social brand mashwork here. This is the things, the features that often occur in these social brand mashworks. So it's all of this stuff, the gameplay elements, the personal contact, the profiles, the rankings, and your brand. If your brand is not in, baby, you're out. So the question you have to ask yourself is, does you know your customers? They probably spell like this. The flip side is, do they know you? Social brand mashwork can help. First step is to get a Twitter account. Then you listen to what people are saying about you, and then you engage with them and tell them why they're wrong. That's interaction. So to conclude with the first half of my presentation, everything is better with a social network. Before I came, I set my mind to designing some solutions to your problems. You haven't told me what you think your problems are, but that's irrelevant. The beauty of social brand mashworks is you can just drop them in anywhere. So let's take 3 examples, right? First up, Archives New Zealand. They look after papers and things. That's like Flickr, but for paper. And there's no Creative Commons. It's not on the web. It's just totally boring. I mean, they put things in boxes. They write the box number down, and they play solitaire all day. There's no public engagement, no brand equity in the mashup world. So let's fix that. Think about how a social brand mashwork really makes this come alive. Johnny User, Tamuku, signs up for an account on Facebook. He can friend memos. He can get feeds from the boxes. He can be notified via email when the boxes are opened. And in fact, you could probably save money on that last one. You probably don't even need to implement that, but don't tell the software vendors I said that. Take another boring department, Internal Affairs. Same problems, snore. Passports are so unsexy. Or are they? How cool would it be to chat with other people as they're getting their passports? You could find partners, you could find dates, you could get marriages online, solve the migrants' problems. Now that is customer-focused, people. You build your brand as they build their family. Think about this. Talk about positive brand connotation. How many of you in the audience have people out there saying, your government department got me laid? This is totally a long-tail business. Putting the affairs back in internal affairs. If we do this right, we could put the internal in there as well. It's the queue meets the game. This is perfect. And finally, the power play for internal affairs. This is how you pay for it all. As the migrant investors come in with their $1 million to invest and bypass all the tests and checks, you rent their list of their names and addresses to direct marketers. Oh, it's brilliant. New Zealand Post, state-owned enterprise, has plenty of experience here doing this. It's synergies, baby. It's all about the synergies. All right, my final example for you. The Ministry of Social Development, serves half in New Zealand or something, and large software shop. But there's no gameplay, and all these developers have been working on boring applications. We need to make this fun, people. Imagine if when you registered for a benefit, you created an avatar online, right? Then there are job applications. Jobs are like a monster to be fought. You get points for your CV. If you go on an educational course at the Wānanga, then it's a quest. Exams, the big boss at the end. Got a certificate for it? Hey, it's a power-up. So this is what you're looking at here. It could be a totally revolutionary way to approach this. Thank you, yes. So I'm still saving pocket money to get an iPhone, but when I do, I'm going to come back and I will show you iPhone apps. So anyway, in short, you need my form of social brand mash action, and if you hire me, I will friend you on Twitter. Thank you very much. Hello, team. Thanks for joining me for this exciting update on our amazing transformative projects. You've all just been absolutely fabulous. I know you're going to be happy with how it's going. Here's our agenda for the day. Thank you. Move in, take seats. It's fantastic. So the line-by-line review of our department has concluded. You'll notice the empty seats around you. Karen, that corner office you were asking about, it's come available. See me later. So it's come to my attention that some of you still have sustainability in your project descriptions. Just a reminder, you're going to need to remove that before we get to the capital allocation cycle. Use core business or frontline instead. So here are our goals, straight from himself at the top. I know we're all totally on track to transform government and magnify our service delivery proactively in this new millennium, E-wise. First of all, user engagement. Hey, totally loved the plan. I thought it was brilliant. Buy into it completely. This is absolutely the direction we as a government department must go. Can't do a project without it. Multi-stakeholder, full-term engagements, the whole thing, beautiful. Just a few small tweaks though, in light of the budget cutbacks that we've all experienced. We can't really get in the mixture of the demographics that you were after. You wanted a state housing resident and like a DPB recipient and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think you'll like the solution we've come up with, though. I mean, this is great. I mean, it's totally flexible. Be working with me here. This is great. James, from Midterm Asset Planning, he's going to come down and he will pretend to be your user. He's totally up for it. Although now I think of it, the Midterm Asset Planning Strategic Review is entering its critical middle year. So we can only really get him for Thursday. 1 hour on Thursday. So if you send him the questions in advance, you're going to be totally over the moon with just the engagement that we get. I mean, it's totally transformative, guys. Totally check that box in our performance criteria about being agile. The department's Twitter account has been set up. We're Minsok Cull Ekaf. If you'd like to follow us, it'd be great. This is an absolute revolution in listening to our citizens. I mean, the direct engagement here is overwhelming. And all kudos to Janet, who's been monitoring it in the times between her meetings. So that's 9 to 9:30 on Thursdays and 1 to 1:15 on Fridays. Top marks to the comms team for setting this up. Facebook page, good on you, Simon. Go out there, mate. Get that thing done. This is brilliant. This is total distributed leadership. We're right into that, eh? We've got 121 friends now. All right, 10 more than DPMC. Now we posted the photos from our Brains Trust morning tea the other day. It was brilliant, hilarious stuff. We got a great comment from Tony's mum. Good on you, Tony. Keep plugging it, mate. That's the way. I think we are really, as a whole here, totally changing the game of government and the way it's delivered. And, of course, the CE's blog, man, what an unqualified success that has been. That is great. Like, unmediated, unfiltered, straight and direct. This is just an incredible opportunity. Absolutely changes the way we've done things internally. And like all mad props to Karen and Comms for writing this stuff. It is outstanding. Outstanding. The 5th post goes up this week, and I don't think I'll ruin the surprise when I hint that in this one he makes a really hilarious observation on the strategic plan. I mean, you're going to love it. Okay, this is Creative Commons, man. We have all bought into this completely. This is a brilliant team. You guys are awesome. It enables reuse. We're all into that. Transparency or openness, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. There've been a few small legal quibbles that have come back from the team, and man, you wouldn't believe the angry phone call I got from the Treasury Minister. It turns out that selling this data actually makes us a bit of money. So the first Creative Commons release is going to beat our Creative Commons policy. We think that's a brilliant start. Spread the stuff around. Well, we couldn't get all of the policy, obviously. Stuff try and take the whole mountain here, guys. We had to bite off the bits that we could deal with. So the references section of the Creative Commons policy will be the first thing that we put online. But it's the start of a torrent, baby, reinventing government. So thank you, everybody. Thomas, could you just stay behind? Thanks, everyone. Yep, beauty. Hey, now look, Thomas, I know you're a bit nervous with all this open source and agile talk that's been going around. I just wanted to reassure you, don't worry, mate. Look, if the vendors let it go, it'd be amazing, but they're not going to do it, right? They wine and dine the minister in their box seats. It's never going to happen. The IT guys are going to kill it if the vendors let it through. They got those 2 trips to Las Vegas for professional development last year. There's no way they're going to let these hippies derail the gravy train. Don't worry about it at all. And even if it does, we can always nail it in a budget round. We've got these white papers from the vendor, tells us that free costs even more than their product. The product we paid tens of millions for, it's brilliant. Oh, you're going to love it. Genius. Don't worry about the Agile. The Agile's not a problem. I had a word with the Treasury boys. They'll demand a copy of the detailed requirements and specification documents before they'll authorise any actual development. Not a hope. No, mate, you're welcome. Catch you later. All right, now it's me, for real. I'm an outsider, I'm not one of you. I think I was invited here to sprinkle some Web 2.0 fairy dust on government and bring my time in the States to this and let you all have the wiki blog mashup magic. But I'm not a social media consultant, I'm not the hype master out there telling you that everything should be in wikified. And I'm not a pointy-haired boss, uncomprehendingly and callously grin-fucking every good idea that comes across his desk. I'm a bit of a realist, and I think Govis probably bit off a bit more than they can chew when they asked me to give this final keynote. Here's what I believe. I believe that, yes, new technology will transform government and its interactions with citizens. It already has. It always has. The telephone changed things. The fax machine changed things. Email changed things. Anyone who thinks it stops there, we don't have to deliver services through the web's dreaming. And it doesn't have to stop at the web, mobile phones and beyond. Who knows what is going to come next? But you don't have a technology problem. It's not the technology that you really need to hear about. Because when I talk to you over the course of this week, the one thing that becomes immediately apparent is that you don't have a technology problem, you have a people problem. And this sentence is always true. Right? There's a very lucrative consulting career to be made out of taking $15,000 of somebody's money and then saying this sentence. The technology that your customers want you to use, the technology that will let you implement transparency and all the rest of it's already here. Technology is not the hard part, people are the hard part. You have several people problems, and the first is that the politicians are not leading. Right? They've gutted the State Services Commission. There is no articulated vision about IT from the top. They just talk about broadband, jobs, and cutting costs. They gutted budgets like, Jack the Ripper with a Ginsu knife set. They haven't just cut the fat. They've cut sinew, they've cut muscle, they've cut spinal columns, and in some cases, brains. While they sit and then slash the budgets, you're going to find it bloody hard to do anything that they don't understand. I want to see signs, anything. I want to see signs that we have political leaders who understand bits as well as atoms. They understand RAM as well as lamb. Like Fox Mulder, I want to believe. But right now I need a sign, and I'm just not getting one. So that's a people problem. And we've seen so many idealistic, visionary, aspirational challenges and goals and pictures of the future set out there this week. Open, transform, devolve, involve. Do it like the Brits, do it like the Americans, do it like the Canadians. Shit, even the Aussies are ahead of us, for fuck's sake. And you're pulled in different directions because everyone has a different idea of what the future should be. Some of them even want it to be more like the past. But you need a shared vision, whether it's going to be provided by a government CIO or it's going to be provided by a committee of yourselves or from someone else entirely. But you need one, and you don't have one now. And that is also a people problem. The political nature of your environment, a huge barrier to success. There's infighting, there's squabbling, there's treachery, backstabbing, deceit. Right? And I'm just talking about getting tea in the mornings. Most of you operate in an incredibly dysfunctional workplace. And I'm not picking on government here. This is true of any large company. It takes up your time. It creates stress. It makes it harder for you to do anything that might possibly be criticised. In other words, anything new. Right? You've got a very difficult position that you're in, and that's also a people problem. John Donne, 1600s poet, he wrote No Man is an Island. Well, you're all islands. You work away by yourselves most of the year. And you count yourselves lucky if you know what's going on in part of your own department. Every once in a while at a Govis or something like this, you get together and you might run into people and learn haphazardly something more about what's going on elsewhere, but that's all just casual and haphazard. You need to talk more, you need to learn more, you need to share more. It's hard being an island because you have to learn everything by experience. When I was a kid, the school issued me with a little diary in the forlorn hope that I'd become more organised. And the diary had inspirational quotes at the top of each page, and there's one that I've never forgotten. And it's, experience is a hard master, but fools will have no other. If you're an island, that's the only way you can learn. So, people problem, that people don't talk enough. So what the hell are you going to do? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be bloody miserable for you for a few months, maybe longer. As Ros said, American and UK politicians are reaching out and embracing openness because it's rebuilding the bridges that they burned in the last 8 years. They need it. New Zealand politicians, they're still spending goodwill. They don't need to earn it again. So you need to do the right thing, whatever that might be, because you don't have a shared direction, remember. And doing that right thing is going to mean going outside traditional methods. So I'm going to give you 5 easy tasks. 5 easy tasks. And if everyone who came to Govis does these, we'll all be better off. Because you can't make big changes. Governments crap at big changes, particularly when IT is involved. So you need to grieve for what you had, you need to move on. Now, put your hand up, because I can see you. All this nonsense about the lights being too bright to see into the audience, it's a lie. I see every single one of you very clearly, and I will know if you do not comply. Put your hand up if you believe that you make decisions based on reality and not on fantasy. Do you make decisions based on reality and not on fantasy? Put your hand up, please. Reality-based, hands up. Good God, there's not very many of you. Come on, surely all of you believe that you make decisions based on reality. I'm looking at you here. Which department are you two from? Department of Fantasy and Magic. DPMC, possibly. So now I want you to say it all. Say it all with me. I make informed decisions. Let me hear it. I make informed decisions. Lovely. That is good. So you're going to spend a week learning about something interactive. Could be Twitter, right? You might decide it's not for you at the end of it. That's cool. But you should make an informed choice. So you're going to do it like this. Find someone who already uses it a lot. You're going to ask them how it works. Can they show it to you? How they decide what to say and who to follow, those tricky kinds of decisions. And then spend a week experimenting with it. Use your own name, don't use the department's, don't make a commitment on behalf of your department. I'm not asking that. So you see how companies, organizations, businesses out there are already using it. And then you can decide whether there's a role for it in your department. You might decide, wow, we really do need to know what people are saying about us. Even if we don't join in, it still helps to know what people say about us. Or you might decide that it's not important for you. That's great. Informed, reality-based choices. Because you don't want to buy into some social media mashwork buffoons jargon, but at the same time you don't want to be on the other side and be a reactionary bigot. You need to be an informed chooser of technology. Similarly, try a cloud application. Cloud's a very real option today. It's not just this hypothetical fantasy. It does sound like I'm saying that there is substance to a cloud, which by its very nature of a cloud there is no substance to, but I'm serious. There's real, you can try it, there are clouds. So try Google Docs, very simple. Get 2 willing co-workers, sign up for Google accounts, and then together build a presentation on Google Docs to give to your other co-workers. Take notes in the word processor, build the presentation online, use a spreadsheet to estimate savings if you switched. Yes, the free version has the all your base belong to us clause in the license, but the commercial one and the government version does not. So make an informed choice about possible cost savings. Make an informed choice about technology and its benefits. Learn about open source. Lots of reasons to use open source. It gives you freedom. It gives you agility. Google doesn't use open source because it's free. Google has more money than Satan. Google uses open source because it gives them flexibility. They can do what they need it to do rather than what the vendor has decided it should do. It's the freedom to make the software exactly what you need it to be. And you get the agility to try things quickly and cheaply because you don't need to go through an RFP process because there's no vendor. So if you talk to Don Christie from the New Zealand Open Source Society, you'll get some information about open source. If you talk to the Electoral Enrolment Centre, who are all open source, you'll hear about how a government department has operated with open source. If you talk to any of the great open source vendors who are here at Govis this week, you'll get some great facts about open source, some ideas and some opinions and some attitudes to go out and work with. I'm not saying you should rush out and do everything in open source, but I'm saying that you should be informed when you make a decision. Now I want you to do something, not just learn about something, but do something. I want you to release something under a Creative Commons license. I don't care how big and I don't care how small. It could be your media releases from the comms department, the least important part of your department's activity. When you release something, tell Digital New Zealand at the National Library. They'll add it to their list of goodies. Talk to each other about what you're doing and use each other as examples. Hey, if those clowns in fisheries can do it, surely we can. Right? Don't stop at one thing, keep doing it. Build momentum until you get the Alice's Restaurant effect. You know the Alice's Restaurant effect? If only one person does it, he's a freak. 2 people do it, they're queer. But if 15 people do it, you've got a movement. So this is a universal good. You'll be putting information into citizens' hands in a way that they can determine how to use it. And I've spoken with enough of you this week to know that you're not fools, you're not incompetent, you're smart, you're passionate, you're intelligent people. I've met plenty of people, you've met plenty of people. And hopefully you've shared business cards and email addresses and that kind of stuff. Pick 3 people and keep in touch. Keep them posted on what you do with Creative Commons. Keep them up with what you've learned about open source or the cloud or whatever you've chosen to investigate. Ask questions of them. How did you sneak this past IT? How did you get the lawyers happy with that? How did you run that project so well? Who built that for you so cheaply? And how many people did you need to staff that? There are all sorts of information and questions that you can turn to these people for. They're a valuable resource. So in conclusion, this is why. As Ben Franklin said, we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. Thank you.